Yeah, 50 years ago we started the business, and we worked from my parents' home. And at that stage, I don't think my parents even had phone on. We had to organise a tee up the phone.
"50 years is a milestone. I think it's a huge endorsement for the company.
He's known for being one of the best builders in New South Wales.
Peter Binet is certainly one of the longest and most appreciated clients we have.
I'm a carpenter by trade, and I left school at 14 and 10 months. My father was a carpenter, go to work, so he said, "Look, how would you like to work with me?" Yeah, my twin brother John, we were close. I was very fortunate to have him as a mate or a friend and a partner. He looked after the outside construction and I looked after the inside work. I bought my first block of land in Ridge Street, Epping. We started off just building, you know, one spec here and one spec there. Buying blocks, maybe 3 or 4 blocks in a row or in the one subdivision. Later years, people wanted us to be around where they were building because we might take a whole street off them. And because Binets were going in there to build a street out, that increased the value of all the other blocks. I mean, after all, I think we built about 17 complete streets of homes.
This street is quite unique. There is a theme running through the whole estate, and if you go into any of the houses here, you'll see that they're pretty much the same, but they're different.
You know, the aesthetics is the first thing that draws you to these houses. But when you look inside and you see the plan and the layout, the accommodation and the architecture of it, it's a very appealing and relaxing way to live.
You know, when you're putting that much energy and effort, both financial and emotional, into a house, you don't want to feel that you haven't quite got what you wanted.
This is our third Binet home, and we're extremely happy, as we have done with the other 2 homes that Peter's built for us.
When the estate's planned or the house is planned, it always takes into consideration your neighbour, the way the house faces, the best position to put the garaging in.
Not only builds a house for someone the first time, he builds it the second time and the third time and the fourth time.
When things were quiet in the 70s, we built 22 homes for war service. I would have had just one person in the office who was a draftsman and the manager type guy, and I was out with a hammer and nail bag on helping them on site.
I always wanted to be in a home after visiting Sandhurst Crescent with my wife about 30 odd years ago. I just liked the look of the house, the quality. It had a certain air of prestige about it.
Certainly our flagship was Sandhurst Manor Estate. We done things that hadn't been done before, the designs, the roads, and created a market. We put down paved brick roads, and when you get around and you have a look at them, there's something special. So that was one. The other one was Porpet Point. You had view of the city, had a marina berth, 2 tennis courts, a big clubhouse. There's Rodney Way named after my son. There's Louise Way after my daughter. I mean, even the little subdivision there at just over the Gladesville Bridge. Of recent times, we've gone out to Pitt Town, where we've targeted people that are probably their third home that have come off acres. When you've got a good eye for design and you've got confidence in your own ability, you can achieve the results.
When you look at the house, the garage doors, the front doors, the timber columns at the front, it just adds character to the house.
I get totally involved in the design of the houses, the colour schemes, outside colours, the total landscaping.
In our house in particular, we have a very wide outdoor area, and that extends the house in a sympathetic way with the garden.
What stands out about the house is, I think, the quality of workmanship, just the quality inclusions, the design, the landscaping, the pool design.
With all the tradies on site, they're obviously really proud of the work that they do and the workmanship and the level of attention to detail. This is a Binet home, no, we have to do it this way.
Well, we're really happy with the result. It's a great feeling to walk into a new home, and it's what you wanted. You feel you haven't compromised.
They build a house properly, they don't cut corners, and you know, they're always doing something different.
Yeah, well, the difference between Binet and the other project mobs is they all do truss roofs, where Binet, as you can see, this is all hand cut. That just allows you to do a bit more intricate style of roof.
We're working all the way around the suburbs of Sydney, building architect design houses that none of them are the same, with complicated aspects about them and lots of detail and work that goes into it.
Peter and his team produce a quality product. They're nice to deal with. Everything they do, they don't cut corners, they're not interested in cutting corners. Everything's done to spec, everything's done to the best of their abilities.
Well, he doesn't take shortcuts, and that's what has kept us working together with each other.
Tradespeople that Peter gets to do his houses are recognised as the best in the industry. Peter doesn't cut corners with regards to that.
You know, they're a good company to work for, and you don't want to leave. People look after each other, the trades look after each other.
We've got a lot of guys that work for us for 30 plus years. It's very rare in the building industry. Peter Binet, he's like the rock of the building industry. He's certainly been a fabulous mentor to myself.
So we're building our teams all along, and without building your teams you'd be nowhere. I'd say at least 20% of our market now is very much referred. Referrals is a very, very important part of the business.
Having a couple of different personal endorsements and recommendations for a builder we thought was really important, and that was probably one of the key factors for us to go and speak to Binet.
It's all about relationships and trust and honesty, and you know, when you deal with Peter Binet, you immediately get the impression that he's a straight talker. What he says he means. If he says you're going to get something in that house, you will get it.
It gives me a real buzz to come back to these estates and to see how the gardens are developed, how the people have taken so much pride in their homes.
There's a lot of good clients out there who come back 2, 3, 4, 5 times to build houses with us. We've got the operation, we've got the structure, we've got the knowledge, we've got the capability to keep building houses well into the future and keep the Binet Homes name going.
You know, life's about how you can make somebody else happy and what you can do for someone else, and so I do get a lot of satisfaction out of that. And if you don't get that, well, you're only in it for money.
You were a bit sad about the old house getting knocked down, weren't you?
Yeah, a bit, but now...
We had tears.
But now, it's bigger and better.